Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Munatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jannavalabha Girivaradari Gopi Jannavalabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Rusharutena Kalarupena Ya Ahi Samabati Isaha Satavanam Bhagavam Atmamayaya Atma Purusha Rupena Kalayurina
Samanvityesya Satvanam Bhagavam Atma Bhagavanatma Mayaya
Bhagavanatma Mayaya
Anta Purusha Rupena
Anta Purusha Rupena
Kala Rupena Yogahi
Kala Rupena Yobahi
Samandite Esha Satpanam
Manvesha Sanam
Bhagavanatma Mayaya
Bhagavanatma Mayaya
Anta Purusha Rupena
Anta Purusha Rupena
Kala Rupena Yogahi
Kala Rupena Yogani
Samandite Esha Satpanam Bhagavanatma Mayaya
Mayaya Anta Purusha Rupena
Anta Purusha Rupena
Kala Rupena Yobahi Samanvetesha Sattvanam Bhagavanatma Mayaya Anta Purusha Rupena
Sanameti Satvanam
Samanvetesha Sattvanam
Bhagavan Atma Mayaya
Bhagavanatma Mayaya Okay, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, we'll let others go first.
Okay.
Online.
Antah Purusha Rupena
Anta Purusha Purena
Kala Rupena Yobahi
Kala Rupena Yobahi
Samanveti Esha Sattvanam
Samanvetyesha Sattvanam
Bhagavan Atma Mayaya.
Bhagavan Atma Mayaya
Hare Krishna.
अन्तः पुरुषरूपेण
Anta Purusha Rupena
कालरूपेण यो बहिः
Kala Rupena Yobahi
समन्वेत्येष सत्त्वानां
Samanvetyesha Sattvanam
भगवान् आत्ममायया
Bhagavan Atma Mayaya
Antah Purusha Rupena
Anta Purusha Rupena
Kala Rupena Yobahihi
Kala Rupena Yobahi
Saman Vetesha Sattvanam
Samanvetyesha Sattvanam
Bhagavan Atma Mayaya.
Bhagavan Atma Mayaya
Anta Purusha Rupena
Anta Purusha Rupena
Kala Rupena Yobahi
Kala Rupena Yobahi
Samanvetyesha Sattvanam
Samanvetyesha Sattvanam
Bhagavan Atma Mayaya.
Bhagavan Atma Mayaya
One more.
Antapurusha Rupena
Anta Purusha Rupena
Kala Rupena Yobahi
Kala Rupena Yobahi
Samanvetyesha Sattvanam
Samanvetyesha Sattvanam
Bhagavan Atma Mayaya.
Bhagavan Atma Mayaya Yeah.
Word for word. Anta.
Within. Purusa Rupena. In the form of the Supersoul. Kala Rupena. In the form of time. Yaha. He who. Bahi. Without. Samaveti. Exists. Esaha. He. Sattavanam. Of all living entities. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality Godhead. Atman Mayaya, by his potencies. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. By exhibiting his potencies, the Supreme Personality Godhead adjusts all these different elements, keeping himself within as the Supersoul and without as time. Purport. Here it is stated that within the heart of the Supreme Personality Godhead resides the Supersoul. This situation is also explained in the Bhagavad Gita. The Supersoul rests beside the individual soul and acts as a witness. This is also confirmed where elsewhere in the Vedic literature, two birds are sitting on the same tree of the body. One is witnessing and the other is eating the fruits of the tree. The Purusha or Paramatma who resides within the body of the individual soul is described in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, verse 23, as the Upadashtra, witness, and the Anumanta, sanctioning authority. The conditioned soul engages in the happiness and distress of the particular body given him by the arrangement of the external energy of the Supreme Lord. But the Supreme Living Being, or the Paramatma, is different from the conditioned soul. He is described in Bhagavad Gita as Maheshvara, or the Supreme Lord. He is Paramatma, not Jivatma. Paramatma means a supersoul who is sitting by the side of the conditioned soul just to sanction his activities. The conditioned soul comes to this material world in order to lord it over material nature. Since one cannot do anything without the sanction of the Supreme Lord, he lives with the jiva soul as a witness and a sanction giver. He is also bhakta, a bhukta. He gives maintenance and sustenance to the conditioned soul. Since the living entity is constitutionally part and parcel of the Supreme Personality Godhead, the Lord is very affectionate to the living entities. Unfortunately, when the living entity is bewildered or illusioned by external energy, he becomes forgetful of his eternal relationship with the Lord. But as soon as he becomes aware of his constitutional position, he is liberated. The minute independence of the conditioned soul is exhibited by his marginal position. If he likes, he can forget the Supreme Personality of Godhead and come into this material existence with a false ego to lord it over material nature. But if he likes, he can turn his face to the service of the Lord. The individual living entity is giving that independence. His conditional life is ended, and his life becomes successful as soon as he returns to his face to the Lord. But by misusing his independence, he enters into material existence. Yet the Lord is so kind that a supersoul, he always remains with the conditioned soul. The concern of the Lord is neither to enjoy nor to suffer from the material body. He remains with the jiva simply as a sanction giver and witness, so that the living entity can receive the results of his activities, good or bad. Outside the body, the conditioned soul of the Supreme Personality of Godhead remains as the time factor. According to the Sankhya system of philosophy, there are 25 elements. The 24 elements already described plus the time factor make 25. According to some learned philosophers, the supersoul is included to make a total of 26 elements. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Om Vishnu By exhibiting his potencies, the Supreme Personality of Godhead adjusts all these different elements, keeping himself within as the super soul and without as time. Of course, if Dhanavir Goswami has any insight or comments on this verse, please feel free to speak up. So we have the super soul, the Paratma, that is the witness within us that's here. There's not a single action that we're doing, there's not a single thing that we can do without the sanction of the Paramatma. We may think that we're in control, we may think that we have these, we can do what we want. But in actuality, it's a Paramatma that's allowing it. It's only by illusion that we think that we are our own gods, that we think that we are independent of the Supreme. But Krishna is so merciful. He's given us this opportunity to try to figure these things out on our own, to try to be our own gods, to let us think that, oh, gee, I'm the one that's doing it. He allows us to do that, even though he's the one that sanctions every single aspect of what we do. That's why when I talk many times in my lectures that, we aren't in control. It takes the mercy of Krishna. It takes the mercy of Krishna to practice bhakti yoga. It takes the mercy of Krishna to be able to give up our bad habits. Because we are powerless in every step of the way. That's why I always say, you got to come to Krishna and you got to beg him. Gotta beg Krishna. Oh, please, Krishna. Oh, please, I want to desire you more than all my bad habits. I want to desire you more than all these material things in this world. Oh, please, Krishna. When will it be the day that I hunger and thirst for you? You gotta come to him each and every day and beg him. Because he is the sustainer, he is the controller, he is the beginning and the ending of everything. There's not a single thing that we can do without his say-so. He is the originator of everything. When we forget this relationship that we have, when we forget our constitutional position, that's where suffering comes in. Because we're trying to enjoy separately from Krishna. Trying to enjoy separately from Krishna, you're never going to get the fulfillment. You're never going to get the satisfaction. It's always going to be dust in the wind. You're always going to be chasing after these sense enjoyments that won't last. Always have to come up with more schemes and more ideas and more ways to try to achieve this happiness. As I've talked about many times in my lectures, is when we don't have control over the mind, when we're not the ones in control, by trying to live out as a servant of Krishna and letting the mind be in control, we find there's all kinds of sufferings that can bestow upon us. We can have the perfect living conditions. We could have our full belly. We could have the perfect environment. We could have the perfect temperature. We could have the perfect aromas around us. We could be living in the lap of luxury. But without control over the mind, control over our material senses, all these things mean nothing. Because we'll be still suffering, we'll still be miserable. We're just trying to find ways to cover up the suffering. Trying to find ways to fill the bottomless pit of emptiness. That's where it really takes coming into our constitutional position as a part and parcel of Krishna, being the servant. Learning to do things for Krishna's enjoyment, not for our own enjoyment. Because only when we do that can we partake in the actual pleasure. Anything outside of that, it's a fleeting moment. It becomes a vice. So many great personalities out there that have tried to enjoy without Krishna, without God, to become their own gods. So many great personalities that have name, fame, prestige, wealth, family, that had it all at their fingertips. But yet they weren't happy. I always like to bring up examples of famous celebrities, because these people are in the spotlight. These people are many of us admire, want to be like. But when you actually look at pull back the pages and you look at their lives, and you realize they weren't actually happy. Personalities like Elvis Presley, the king of rock. Name, fame, prestige, wealth, people worshipped him. He had to resort to prescription drugs to maintain his happiness. Even though he was surrounded by wealth, luxury, people, falling at his feet, wanting to be with him. That wasn't enough. And even the drugs weren't enough. Ended up taking his life. Michael Jackson. Again, another great personality. Probably one of the biggest of our generation. Name, wealth, fame, prestige, family. Had it all. Was a well-known name all around the world. So well known. As I've talked about before, just to walk his private grounds at Neverland, is hundreds of acres of land. But he had to have private security walk with him because he was so well known. People wanted to be so much with him that they would parachute in from above just to try to meet him. But yet, he was chasing happiness and couldn't keep it. He was hooked on prescription drugs. He had to take shots just to fall asleep. Robin Williams, another great personality, great actor, famous comedian, starred in all kinds of movies, brought joy and laughter to millions of people. Name, fame, wealth, prestige, family, had it all. But yet he even still struggled trying to find happiness. You read about his career, he suffered from cocaine addiction, he suffered from alcoholism. And in the end, he took his own life. Because that was easier than to live in this material world. So if these great personalities that were at the top of their field, that had it all, that had everything at their grasp, that could do whatever they want, could not find happiness with their material senses, what chance do we have? Bhakti yoga is where it's at. Finding our constitutional position as a servant of Krishna, as a part and parcel of Krishna. That's where it's at. Anything else, we're chasing an illusion. We're chasing something that can't be grasped. It's something that we can't sustain. Something that only brings more suffering. Is there any questions or comments so far? Yes, Prabhu.
Were you talking about japa in this lecture just now?
Japa?
Japa, yeah, japa meditation.
You want me to talk about japa?
No, I was just wondering if you had been talking about it, or if
I haven't discussed japa yet.
you were talking about something about the mind, right?
Yes, the mind.
So
Having control over the mind.
okay, so I was wondering, like, so for practitioners of bhakti yoga, it's really good for us to learn how to chant japa. So hold on, I'm trying to think of what I was going to ask. So I was wondering if you could share some techniques that you use for learning how to chant japa so we can control our mind a little better, especially during the japa period and afterwards.
Well, for japa meditation, it comes down to the simple thing of being determined and being aware where your mind's at. When you have these thoughts that arise as you're trying to chant your japa, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. I wonder what for breakfast today. Oh, there's a thought. You can either choose to follow that thought and think about, what you're going to have for breakfast, or what they could possibly be cooking, or what you don't like, hope that there's something in the food that they won't serve. You could choose to either follow that thought, cling on to that thought, or stop yourself. Say, no, this is time for japa, this is time with Krishna, and bring yourself back to the mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. I wonder what the weather is going to be like. Oh, there's another thought. Again, you can choose to whether to follow that thought and think about what the weather is going to be like this day. Is it going to be rainy? Is it going to be stormy? Is it going to be sunny or hot or cold? You can follow that thought while you're chanting japa. But you got to be able to stop yourself. Say, no, this is japa time. And bring yourself back to the mantra. Bring your awareness back to the sound of the mantra. And this is something you got to do over and over and over and over and over again. Each and every time you have a thought arise, you got to stop yourself from following that thought. This is how you progress in japa. Because if you find yourself following your thoughts every time you do japa, you're not progressing. You're just practicing japa badly. It takes time, patience, and practice. And for the beginners, it can seem like, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Am I only on my fourth round? Hare Krishna, this is taking forever. Hare Krishna. Oh, that's another thought. You got to still bring yourself back to the mantra, and listen to the sound of the mantra. It's very hard for beginners because the mind is used to having the say so. The mind is used to saying, "Hey, look at this. Look at me. Stop. I'm hungry. I'm too cold. I'm too hot. Something smells funny." Mind has all kinds of ways to distract you because it's used to being in control. It's used to having the say-so. It's used to saying, hey, I'm going to nag you until I get my way. But that's where japa comes in. That's the training of learning to say no to the mind. Say, no, I'm not paying attention to those thoughts. This is japa time. This is time with Krishna. Keeping our awareness on the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Because in the beginning, the morning 16 rounds, that's just the beginning of it. You got to take this mindset that you've set aside these 2 hours of your day to train your mind to be specifically on the mantra. You got to extend that out to the rest of your day. While you're doing your seva, while you're doing your service. Kornitai ki jai. When you're washing dishes, you could either be following your thoughts, wondering, what's going to happen tomorrow, thinking about your past, what you did in the past, thinking about jokes, thinking about, past movies you have seen. You could be following your thoughts and, be getting frustrated about how much time it's taking to get these pots washed. Or you can be focusing on the mantra while you're washing the pots. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Because the time and effort in training of the mind, your mind gives up this fight over time of trying to be in control. Trying to say, hey, I want to do something else. This is ridiculous. Look at all these pots I gotta wash. Why am I here? How it's someone else's fault that they didn't do them. It's the cook's fault for, dirtying so many dishes. All kinds of thoughts that come into the mind while you're doing your seva. But you have to stop yourself from following those thoughts. And do the same thing that you were doing during japa meditation. Bring yourself back to the mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Because only by doing this, by training the mind to be taking shelter in the mantra alone, taking shelter in Krishna, that's where the real nectar begins to rise. And it's very hard to taste the nectar without training the mind to do this first. You could be in this movement for many, many, many years. If you're doing japa wrong, you're not going to acquire the taste. You're just going to be frustrated. 10 years from now, if you're doing japa badly, if you continue to follow your thoughts during japa, 10 years from now, if you continue to do it, you're still going to be frustrated. You'd still be waking up and starting your japa, be on your 4th or 5th round, be like, Hare Krishna. Is this only the 5th round? Hare Krishna. It's just taking so long. I'd much rather be doing something else. I think I need a nap first. I think I need something to eat first. Your mind is still in control. Your mind's still playing the shots. But when you actually practice japa correctly and make every single effort to not follow the thoughts, recognize that there is a thought, but bring yourself back to the mantra each and every time. Bring yourself back to the sound of the mantra. Take shelter in the mantra. With time, practice, and patience, the nectar will rise. And everything will become enjoyable. All of this service that we do for Krishna, all becomes so blissful. Doesn't matter how much service we have. It's all blissful. Doesn't matter how much cleaning I have to do. It's all blissful. Doesn't matter how long the kirtan is going to go for. It's all transcendental. It's all blissful. It's all fulfilling. Can't stress enough on proper japa. Because if you do bad japa, you're going to be frustrated for a very, very long time. You can only make very, very slow advancement if you're doing japa badly. Any other questions or comments?
How important is the pronunciation of our japa? Sometimes we get busy with our services and kind of chant fast.
What was that again?
Saying how important is the pronunciation with our japa? Like sometimes we get busy with our services and kind of chant fast.
Well, it can be very important, because how clearly can you hear it in your mind if you're chanting japa badly, with pronunciation. It's very hard to have that same recording going over and over in your mind. If you want good pronunciation going on over in your mind, where when you still your mind, when you're trying to fall asleep at night, if you're hearing the japa, can you hear the japa naturally continuing on? It's much easier to do so if you're actually pronouncing things the right way, the same way each and every time. A lot of times I hear kirtan as I'm falling asleep at night in my mind, just playing back. It's really nice. But that's the whole thing, is having the mind taking shelter in the Maha Mantra, and not in all these streams of these thoughts that come about. Because we're so used to having the mind being in that shelter of following our thoughts. Whatever the mind is producing, wonder what's going on today, who's going to play the Super Bowl this year? What's on TV tonight? Your favorite song being played in the background. All these things. The mind is used to being in control, used to having this way, just spouting out whatever thoughts that come out that you follow. But having the awareness, the mind taking shelter in the Maha Mantra, that's where real peace begins. So it's so important. Proper japa meditation each and every day. You have to really make a effort. And like I said many times, we are powerless because it takes the sanctioning of Krishna. Takes the sanctioning of the super soul to transform our bad habits to good habits. We can't do it without his say-so. Because many times this body that we have now, this is the result of many of our past actions. This mindset we have now is a result of our past actions. Looks like that's our time for today. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.